Good evening, friends. Thank you for joining me every evening to follow what's happening in India and abroad. And thank you for sending me your useful comments and suggestions. If you believe in this channel, do share with your friends and spread the message. Our only mission is to bring you the truth and both sides of the story. Thanks for your support. Now, both Deepti and I, welcome Deepti, back to our channel.
Thank you, Minaji. Thank you so much.
Both Deepti and I have from the beginning told you that, see, these are the diaries. If you want, you hear them and believe them. It's totally up to you. Nobody is forcing you to do anything. Okay. So this is information that we are giving you. It's entirely up to you as an adult whether to believe it or not. Now, what I've noticed is that the Deepti has come under, multiple attacks from many people who are trying to show that they are the authorities in whatever they're doing. Okay. Now, and they're questioning her as if they are the jury and she's in the, spot. So I just don't understand that. See, what is their motive? If they have any motive, and if the motive is a paid motive. Okay.
Minaji, okay. I just want to add one thing to this before I start reading the slides. The likes of advocates, the likes of forensic experts have trolled me on social media. Okay. Earlier for sharing docs related to Sridevi, and for now sharing this SSR drives. These people never had any problem till the drives didn't gain momentum.
Yes.
As soon as they started gaining momentum, a lot of YouTubers who were posing as warriors of SSR, they started making shows on these drives, dissecting them. Analyzing each comma, each full stop, as if they are experts in Sushant's thought process and writing style. They became an authority and they started declaring them fake. Without even knowing anything about the credentials or the source code of the drive or the IP address, anything, without checking anything, they declare them fake, dissecting the grammar, the spelling mistakes and this and that and whatnot. And Dr. Bhupesh, let me tell, Dr. Bhupesh or advocate, anyone, you are trolling me. Okay, what are we in this moment for? We are in this moment for justice, right? So how will you people making hours and hours of videos trying to, prove my drives are fake, help this justice movement? Okay. So if this is the confusion that these drives are fake or not, there is only one solution. And that solution is CBI should validate the drives. And since I am not able to meet the CBI despite trying, I keep requesting everyone like Dr. Bhupesh. He claims to have helped agencies solve many cases. Okay, so it is easy for him to set up a meeting with CBI to validate the drives, right? Either they will deny or they will accept the authenticity. Okay, but people have a problem with this. They won't do that, but they will make hours and hours of videos, days and days of videos dissecting each thing, and they won't go through the entire drive content as well. They will come up with baseless arguments like she's trying to give clean sheet to Ria, she is pushing it on to Ankita. I don't understand this. I mean, how illogical and how irresponsible these people can be. They claim to be interested in Sushant's justice, but what can help Sushant's justice? They don't do that. They're only here to make videos, gain followers, keep them divided and keep them misguided. So to all the trollers or critics who don't believe in the authenticity of these drives, let us not waste time and hours. And okay, if your motive is justice, let us not waste time and add to more confusion. Kindly, you people have been preaching me to approach CBI as it is easy, right? It's not easy for me. Maybe I'm a useless fellow. Since you people find it easy to meet CBI, kindly set up a meeting for me so that to validate the drive, so that everyone can be clear for once and all. That is a clear-cut solution, right?
Yeah.
And if they don't do that and just make videos trying to dissect everything, and people should understand what their agenda is. Yeah. I don't have anything more to say on this. Yeah.
Also, Deepti, remember that they don't have much content. See, they started with, they tried to cash in on SSR's movement, okay, and they ran out of topics. Now, see, they have to sustain whatever they're doing. So they will rehash the whole thing. And now they found that, see, they have found a convenient this thing in your diary. So if you can dissect it bit by bit. So my complaint number 1 against troll number 1 or troll number 2 or troll number 3, they can make about 100 sections. Like the Mahabharata, it can go on and on and on. Okay. But people are not interested. And neither
they're not interested.
Yeah.
They're not interested. They are asking me to, clear all doubts of Dr. Bhupesh. Who is Dr. Bhupesh? Is he an authority? For me, I researched about him because I was surprised by, I thought that he was genuine. But when he started attacking me, okay, and he doesn't have the guts to accept that he attacked me first, but he goes and lies that she took my name, that's why I started targeting her. Okay, anyway, when he started attacking the drives without even verifying or without even getting the drives verified, when that person who is in a position who can arrange a CBI meeting, since he claims to be helping the agencies solve the cases, he can easily set up a meeting to validate it. He will not do something which will clear the doubts for sure, but he will make videos. What sort of forensic expert is it? So when I researched on him, I found out that he was the same professor at MIT Dubai when Sridevi died. The mainstream media, the controlled mainstream media, which was spreading the narrative of the accidental drowning, he was one of the forensic guys who came and validated that theory of accidental drowning. So, I mean, is it that he has been in the good books of the nexus since then, who have been trying to brush the murder as these murders? So there are many questions on him as well. Anyway, I leave it upon the people and their fine sense of judgment and wisdom to understand what sort of games are being played. And the names that are coming out in the drives, are no small names. They are big people. They enjoy big credibility, big positions in the society. So it won't be a surprise that they spend their money in this behind the under the table gimmicks by letting loose. I mean, people having titles. We have officers as well. We have officers from ex-officers from defense as well, doing tana tandana with these trolls. But let us not forget one thing. Vohra committee report and the criminalization of the entire system of the judiciary, of the agencies, of the police, as was most evident in, Waze and Paramveer themselves being exposed as extortionists.
Yes.
Okay. So this criminalization of the entire system couldn't have been possible without the likes of such forensic experts or advocates or officers who are corrupt, and who change colors like chameleons.
Yes.
So I just request people not to get misled by the titles they hold. If people were true to the titles they hold, then the system in India wouldn't be so pathetic as it is today.
Yeah. And not only that, Deepti, there are a million forensic people in India.
Exactly.
Okay? And there are million professionals. Now, see, I'm a journalist, but I do not keep on saying that, see, because of my so many years of experience, you need to believe me. No. It is from your reputation, your conduct, that people judge you. You don't need to throw your certificates at anybody or your experience. So that itself is very, suspicious. When someone is, for example, you are coming and you're telling me that, see, even before we begin the show, my so many years of experience makes me want to read the diary. It's hilarious.
That means he's trying to, I mean, mold the judgment, opinion of the people beforehand, that he is something great and his words should be taken seriously.
And you remember, in the beginning of SSR, when it started, he said it was a suicide. And then he apologized. And then he said it was a murder. Now he has to get it straight. Are you saying this or you are saying that? You have to stick to one theory.
And he has been dissecting my drives on the basis of statements given by the likes of Pitani and Ria.
Yes.
Okay. So does that mean that he agrees to whatever Pitani has said? Pitani also said that he saw SSR's body hanging.
Yes.
So he agrees to that as well. I mean, they do not have any logic. The only intention is to prove that these drives are fake.
Yes.
Without any logic or reasoning.
See, one thing I'll tell you, Deepti, even among the public, the people who actually go to these channels are people who like to see these fights. Okay. Now here, if you look at our channel, the people who are following us are very intelligent. They ask you intelligent questions, and they are open to everything, doubts everything. So that is what makes a foreign, mature adult. Okay. So
and Meenaji, I will tell you one thing. Yeah, I will tell you one thing. Many sort of arguments are coming up saying, if you have the rights, why not go to CBI? Why do a drama on the YouTube and social media? Why not go to CBI? I did go to CBI. Okay. CBI is the authority. You should hand it over to them. You are weakening the case by making the culprits alert, by exposing it on the social media and everything. They are talking as if CBI has always solved every case that it has taken.
Yeah.
See, it is because it's been more than a year and CBI has not even filed a charge sheet that and it is not even coming forward to accept the evidences or acknowledge them or validate them. I did go to meet Nupur Prasad twice, once with her knowledge, once without her knowledge. Okay, CBI is, if they know, it's not that they don't know. And I am not sure, but I think they might already be having a copy of these drives. Okay. But if that is the case, why not just acknowledge and tell me the same? We have, we
Yeah.
don't want it. Right. So
They do not
what is
need to be scared.
and Meenaji, what is happening is that no one from the authority or the agency will tell anything, but they are allowing people to be divided on the social media.
Yes, yes.
The authority doesn't come forward to say, deny it, it doesn't come forward to acknowledge it, and this drama continues. These YouTubers continue these dramas, making videos and keeping the people confused. What is the most simple way to get to justice? Okay, amidst all this confusion. Okay, straight away, Dr. Bhupesh ji, you are such a qualified person. You have helped agencies solve so many cases. Kindly set up a meeting with CBI. We will attend it together. Well, let us validate the drives. Okay, and then it will be over, right? Or are you just interested in making videos and keep dragging this forever?
Now, let me tell you one very interesting thing also, Deepti. See, earlier, when the SSR case started, once I had interviewed Dr. Bhupesh. Okay. Now, when your diary started coming out, he asked me that he wanted an interview with Deepti, so please arrange it. Okay. So I said I will mention it to her. If she is interested, definitely she'll come. Now, what he has done has very conveniently, he has deleted that from his Telegram. Okay.
No, not
so
only
now,
he, even Varun Kapoor, I mean, even before Minaji, you asked me to read the drives, Varun Kapoor wanted me to read the drives.
Yeah.
But I couldn't for some reason or the other, whatever it was, because of the infighting that was going on between them and the controversies that he was involved in. I didn't go to his channel. And later, after some days, I start videos on his show. And people approach me saying that they will help me meet the family. They will help me meet the CBI. I said, okay, fine. No, I cannot give the number. I come on personal chat. Come on. Is it some secret or personal work that I'm doing? Is CBI a secret agency for you to be so secretive about it? You don't want to give me the number of the officer? Don't give. Set up a meeting and tell me. I will be present there with the drives. Okay, let us live stream the entire event. Because let me tell you, looking at the track record of CBI or any other agency or the judiciary, I don't have that much faith. And looking at Jia Khan's case, where the evidences have been tampered and sabotaged by the agencies themselves, first by Juhu police, and then CBI says, even after 8 years, that it hasn't collected even the dupatta and the tracksuit that she was wearing. If this is the way CBI works, I don't understand why people are insisting me to hand it over either to the CBI or to the family.
yeah.
Is it because family?
Yeah, also,
is it because family can be threatened and pressurized to keep quiet?
Yeah. And also, Deepti, because once you say this in public, people already know it. It can't be wiped out.
Exactly. These people are having some problem with the contents getting public. I never refuse to share the drives as proofs. If their family comes forward, I assure you that it will be admissible in court. It will be admissible in court.
See, another question what was asked was, why in Sridevi's case she did not do this? Well, Sridevi did not write a diary. And at that time, social media was not so active as it is now. So please
and one
use
more
your
thing.
intelligence. I mean, if your IQ is low, I mean, just keep it to yourself.
Naturally, see, I am a diehard fan of Sridevi. I would have loved, I mean, when I found these drives and when I was going through them, actually I sort of felt envious that I wish I had such content of Sridevi's to guide me.
At that time.
But Sridevi is not someone who is known to be, expressive about her personal these things.
Yes.
So she never used to express neither to her own people or anywhere, or she never used to write.
Yeah.
Sushant happens to be a writer. He has mentioned. So how it came across? You cannot expect me to just imagine and tell stories about Sridevi, right?
Yeah. But the way they speak, Deepti, it is as though they have actually adopted Sushant right from when he was a child, and they know every habit of his including his writing style and the way he would,
Exactly.
and they keep saying that, see, where did he get the time? I mean, how
Where
do
did he
you know
get the time?
what was his
What
what was
time?
his
Yes,
schedule?
what was his
Yeah,
last?
what was his schedule? Okay, you mean to say that,
Exactly.
see, you know everything from the morning to evening what he was doing? Then you can solve the case. Go to CBI.
Exactly. If you know everything, you should be knowing who all were there around him
And why,
in his last days as
you know,
well.
and again, time and again, why is he not speaking about the killers? That is the biggest joke. A person who's dead,
I
you
mean,
know,
I mean, he will,
he's going to tell you
after
about the
he's been
killers.
murdered, he will come and write in the drive that he has been murdered by so and so people.
Yeah,
And one more
that
thing,
is the
these people,
IQ.
I don't know if they are really that stupid or that, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be using that. If they are that poor in English, that they cannot understand the difference between trip to Turkey and connections with Turkey. Okay. And they cannot understand that the fight, the 2017 fight with Suraj Pancholi, which was much publicized, that might not be the only time that they fought.
Yeah, exactly.
If rumors are to be believed, there was a fight in the
Hostility between them.
Suraj
Yeah,
Pancholi's
yeah.
debut film launch party as well,
Yes,
and that
yes,
was
yes.
sometime in 2013,
Yeah,
right? 2013 or 2014,
yeah.
when Suraj Pancholi's debut film launch happened. Okay, so
Yes.
there was a fight in that as well. So I don't know if they are trying using these minute things and misleading people so that they don't believe the lies,
You
or
know,
if they are so poor in English or so
yeah,
poor
yeah.
in
Another
intellect.
thing,
They-
yeah,
uh,
Deepti, another very amusing thing is that, see, it's like, see, sometimes you think that a child of KG is speaking, if she reads it, her eyes should go up and down and this thing, it goes in one level. What is happening? This is the kind of forensic he does. Then God help the victim who died or whatever.
Seriously, I mean,
Yeah,
Meenaji, both you and us, we do not go behind people. But
yeah,
if people come and attack,
yeah,
I'm not going to leave them.
yeah,
They
absolutely.
they cannot bully me. They cannot bully me or threaten me into not sharing the contents of the drive. Even after I hand over the drives to the CBI, I will share them with the public, because this, whatever is written in it here, is something that every Indian should be aware of.
Yeah. See, another thing here, I would like to clarify with the viewers. You said that there were several copies of the diary. Okay. Now, for example, I'm just asking you as a this thing. Suppose this one of the copies went to one of the top politicians in the Mahavikas Agadi. Now, will Dr. Bhupesh ask him? Does he have the authority to read that diary? No, he won't, because he will shiver in front of Mahavikas Agadi, or he'll be arrested and put in jail. Okay, so if he cannot ask the same question to Uddhav Thackeray, Pawar, or to Sonia Gandhi, why is he asking you? There are 5 or 6 copies going around, floating around. And do you mean to say that only Deepti Pinniti should not read? Everybody else can read and spread the contents among their colleagues? Okay, see, she tried. She went to the federal agencies and she tried to give it, but there was no response. So she realized that, see, there is something behind it, and it is better that the public, who are very well aware of what happened to Sushant on 13th night, should know exactly what were his thoughts. Now, it is entirely up to you as adults who are now watching our session to decide whether you want to believe it or not. We are not forcing anybody. Okay, it's entirely up to you to, when the moment you listen to it and you're not convinced, quit. Okay, nobody's
Quit,
asking you.
leave it.
Yeah,
Come on, you
yeah,
focus on your fight for justice, right?
yes,
You
yeah. That
focus
is
on
the only
you
important
claim to
thing.
be a you claim to be a warrior. You focus on your fight for justice. What is your agenda behind making hours and hours of videos
And not only
dissecting
that,
them?
Deepti, see, in your tweets, you have been tagging prominent people. Now, if these prominent people are getting annoyed, a fake woman is, pushing all this, they would have already given you a notice saying that please do not tag us in this concern because we do not believe what you are saying. Till now, you have not received anything of that sort.
No,
So,
no,
what is
they
the
have an
need?
argument, Meenaji. They have an argument for this. They say that if it were true, then she should have been harmed by now. Okay. Why are there no repercussions if these are true? That means, do I have to die like Sushant
Yeah. See, look at
to
the
prove myself to be
way they
authentic?
speak. Yeah, the way they speak.
They don't know what measures I am taking to keep myself still safe.
Yeah.
They don't know what measures I have taken for my safety
And
before coming out.
see, another
Yeah.
question is, Deepti, A very silly question is that, see, if she goes for the first time and they don't take it, doesn't matter. Go second time, go third time, go fourth time. Okay, why not build a house near CBI and go every day, just like you're, giving your, what do you say, your presence, and fill the diary and say that, see, I'm here every day morning, I cannot see CBI. What is this nonsense that they're talking? First of all, if they
And
don't
one
know,
more
if,
thing.
if they don't know, if they don't have command over a language, better you speak in a language that you're comfortable. Okay, you're comfortable in Hindi, speak in Hindi. Okay, make people understand. Don't speak in a language where we don't understand what you're talking about. Are you talking about the diary? Are you talking about somebody's channel? Or are you talking about some YouTuber? Be clear. Okay, always speak about something very clearly, because this is not a joke. SSR's murder was the most gruesome murder in the history of India. Okay, and we are all trying from day one. And let not these people think that they are the only ones who've been following from day one. No, there are many people who have been doing it, and they do it without shouting from the rooftop, saying that we are doing it. Okay,
I will
and
tell you
all
one
these
thing,
people who are
Minaji.
watching are all supporting us. They have been with us from day one.
I will tell you one thing. Another thing I will tell you, that instead of making such focused and time-taking efforts to malign someone who is trying to help the case, okay, why don't you question CBI? More than me, it's CBI which is answerable to you. You are the taxpayers, right? So it is answerable to you as to why the delay in CBI, and
Yeah.
why are they allowing, if they consider that I am circulating some fake thing about an ongoing case which is still under investigation, ask CBI, why are you allowing this to happen? And if it is true, why are you not acknowledging and acting upon it?
Yeah.
They should be asking the CBI. They don't do that.
Yeah.
They are shooting the messenger here who is coming to bring the truth in front of the people. What is their agenda?
See, another thing also, Deepti, what you should understand about these people, they're very, very, they behave in a very manipulative way. For example,
Exactly, I know.
nobody was talking about Jia's case, okay, while we were doing it regularly with Rabia ji, and we were bringing out all of this. The moment there was some good news, everybody, okay, from crocodile to the smuggler, and to all these people, they started taking credit that we were the ones, who were behind it. And now see, look at the result. This is the first, step towards justice. See, and then what happened was, Deepti, they all started talking only about Jia and Suraj. So, see, their intentions are not, as what do you say, transparent as we would want to. Okay. Nobody has custody of Sushant's material or anything. Okay. We are all in our own way trying to prove that there has been something very, very horrible that happened to him. And we will get to the truth of it. If the government or the people involved are trying to hide it, we will continue to fight and make sure that it comes out. And
And one
now
more
there
thing,
is a
Minaji,
sense of
let me
fear
tell you.
of the public.
Yeah, let me clear the duplicity of Dr. Bhupesh as well. In his initial shows, he was saying that he believed me and my diaries, okay, the drives that I was sharing, okay. And then he comes on Twitter and says, you should not share it in the public. You should either hand it over to the family or CBI for the sake of confidentiality. And when I questioned him, confidentiality to protect the names that are coming out, confidentiality for what? It is a public cause.
Yeah.
And then next is this step, making videos too. So see, I understand that
If
the
you
people.
notice, Deepti, if you notice, this was the same kind of attack that you had from Advocate Chandani and Suresh Nakwa. Okay, so these were the people who are constantly attacking you. They are all connected. If you're talking about the dinosaur, you're talking about the crocodile. They are all connected. And the fact is
They're
that,
all
see, if you,
connected. And they're advocates. And not only that, Minaji, it's surprising. The most surprising of them is that not only advocates or forensic experts or something, there are some officers, there are some ex-raw officers who, in one show, come and appreciate my investigative work, my and my team's investigative work into Sridevi's death, and promise all help in Sridevi's case. And behind my back, they go and tell people that no, this is fake, that is fake. I mean, I don't understand that. And they claim to be, and they are they belong to Raw. So you see how deep this nexus is, that these people are let loose to confuse the people. But yes, I understand that people will be very confused, whom to trust, whom not to. I will just tell them one thing: use your own intellect. Don't go by the titles or don't go by anything. Just go by the content. the narrative of what is being said. What motive can be achieved by that narrative? Just analyze that. After that, you will have your own answers.
Also, remember one more thing, viewers. See, when you talk about political parties, just like the police, there are good people and bad people. Okay. Now, we are not talking against the good people. We are talking about the people who are in this mess. Okay. And who have their hands deep in this murder. Now, it's not that we're going to support one party against another party. No, we don't stand for any party. Those who are with these people, we will expose them.
Really, so
So
I'm
being very
not
clear.
just no, Meenaji, I'm not just criticizing it. I will tell you one thing, that Srideviji's case, I wouldn't have been able to come this far when the governments of two nations brushed it under the carpet. I wouldn't have been able to come this far if I hadn't received any help from some authorities who do not wish to be named, because they do not want to be targeted by the nexus. People have helped me. Okay, I mean, all these things, Srideviji's case, these drives, decoding the server space, everything, it needs money as well. So people have been helping me. I never ask for money on social media. I am against it strictly, because but I'm not saying that everyone is bad. No, but the system, the atmosphere, the environment, the ecosystem has become so that the people in authority who have helped me, help in doing good, they don't want their names to come out. Such is the fear.
And these very people have indirectly also supported the fact that SSR is alive, which is the biggest lie, the biggest lie being promoted by people. Okay, so again, back to you, viewers. Now we'll start the reading. So before that, this is what we have to say to you. It's entirely up to you. We do not want to mention any YouTuber anymore. If they want to do whatever they want to, let them do. Okay, you believe what you think is right. That's all.
I will tell you the root of this theory, SSR is alive, where it came from. Okay, so initially the people or culprits thought that people will roll and they will become silent. They will wait and they will become silent. But now they are saying that even after 1 year, the momentum is not dying down. So how to escape without the culprits getting punished? Okay, use the theory which was used on Subhash Chandra Bose.
Yes, exactly.
People will keep calling for decades. He was alive, he was some Baba, he was Gumnami Baba, he is dead, he is alive. And then justice and the accountability of the agencies goes for a toss.
Gone. Yeah, absolutely.
Gone.
Yeah. So let's start the reading, Deepti. So
last session, did I speak about Anil Ambani? Or I think.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Do you want me to read Anil Ambani again or the next one?
No, the next one. Anil Ambani we've already done.
Okay.
Unless my viewers say that, you haven't. We'll wait for that. You continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next is Neerav Modi.
Yeah.
Do I even need to write about this? Yes, I need to. Because this man is another name, and an important name. Not just for the case that is on him, but the way this man's name is connected to the many Ponzi schemes that came and went and are running in our country. This man was an important link to a lot of them, and he, with Mehul, have been very instrumental in executing this to perfection. This is one big reason he escaped and was let to escape. As I have said earlier, the agencies, according to me and my intellect, are well aware of all this, but act indifferent, because sometimes I feel their hands too are tied. Because these people have some fathers who are well connected to the top level and can potentially create havoc in the life of people who want to challenge them. This has been quite adamant in the past and is continuing to date. When I met someone around this, he clearly said that Neerav had made plans of running away from some time, and he was in constant touch with some people about this. And I have heard him speak to people and sounding satisfied and relaxed. Once he was done with the conversation, he was blackmailing someone in the topmost position, and that helped him get away. When I asked him for details, he just said, I am not sure who on the other line was because I could only hear to one side of the conversation. But one such conversation which I remember, which was just a week before he escaped, he clearly said to the other person, he was speaking on the call, I will go inside. Yeah. I will go inside and I'm sure to make it easy for me inside. But your chair is totally white and there is not a single black spot on it. If I take your name when I am asked, then all these years of your hard work, where you have ensured that all that you have done is not out to the public to know. If I take names, you yourself know what that can do to your image. After that, it was just fillers. What Neeravji used on calls, and then he said one final line. Fine, I'll give you the 15 days you have asked for, but I should not be harassed or taken to task. And if you want to play foul, let me tell you upfront, I am going to expose you, and I will not think for another second before I do. For the common man, the main thing he should be concerned about, yes, is his family. But in today's situation, this nexus is a big question mark on that very family of his. And when this is brought to his knowledge, his default reaction should be strike back. But that strike back has to be channelized and should not be a blind one with aggression. It should rather be well controlled, one where he does not invite any legal implications on him. Hence, getting this matter out in the right way and making sure that the society gets the right message, and also this doesn't instigate anyone to take a wrong step, is also a huge responsibility, which I have to ensure that I do it to perfection. Tomorrow, if someone does something wrong, and even for 1/10 of it, the droplets hit on me, I would not be able to forgive myself. While trying to tame a monster and finishing it, we should not end up creating more monsters. This is a very important issue that needs to be addressed. And yes, this is a very important issue that needs to be addressed, yes. But while trying to solve the issue, we all need to ensure, be careful that we ourselves do not end up being even a bigger issue. The journey so far has been very challenging, and we managed to pull it this long itself is a big achievement on my part and the part of my team. And I keep telling them, we are just there, that all our efforts will soon get results. I will ensure that I will have that one final meeting to decide who plays what role before I come out in the open. I will have to pick on a date, and we all should work around that date and ensure the process of how we come out with this info is the biggest ask. And I have my options to do it. I will do it the same way as it should be done. But yes, when we work in a team, when there are more than one people involved in something, and when it is a teamwork, it becomes really important to ask the opinion of people who have been there from the very beginning to ensure that we all are on the same page. The face, yes, is important, and the person who shall come out and speak to is important. But what is equally important is the people backstage and the people who have stood as your support more than once. What generally happens is that when we get to it sometimes on the verge of I'm sorry, yeah, what generally happens is that when we get to it sometimes on the verge of getting it done sooner or more effectively, we tend to forget to discuss this. One huge mistake that can cost any mission very dearly, because if the team is in the dark and you end up getting stuck at a point, you will not have any backup and no one can do anything for you. So it is very important. I'm sorry. Yeah. I will read this sentence again, Minaji, just a second. Okay. We tend to forget to discuss this one huge mistake that can cost any mission very dearly, because if the team is in the dark and you end up getting stuck at a point, you will not have any backup and no one can do anything for you. It is very important that the people who are with you since the very beginning know each and every step of yours, so that if something happens to the face of the mission, someone from the backstage can chip in and help this phase get out of the problem. But this will only happen if the team is well informed about what the situations are and where exactly do we stand. This team for me is fixed, and I shall keep them in the loop for every step I shall take. And yes, we all know when we try and start this, death would be right there staring on us. And we could be put to rest like how others had been in the past. But this time, if this happens, this will not end like how it did for others. This work of mine will trigger that spark in someone or everyone, and this mission will restart again. This work will do most of the things for the start, but the only thing that should be taken care is execution. As I have explained, my backup plan too is ready, but if this reaches into someone's hands who can do something positive around it, as I have spoken about it in the past, the person will have two options, though he will not be knowing who is watching him. If that person's actions match his intent, he will have full support from my team, or my backup team will start this as soon as the issue is forgotten. And why are we doing this? I have already explained it in detail in the past slides. I do not think any further addition to that is needed. So when these names come out, I am sure there will be huge risk factors just after the names coming out, or just before I go ahead to bring them out. And I am prepared for it. For all the sad things that have happened in the past, these people need to be punished. And I shall make sure that these people are not spared. Bring them out in the public, expose their faces, and then sit back and see how it goes for a major part of the expose journey. This is going to be my plan, and we shall work around it to ensure that we achieve the desired result. This is what we will do and hopefully achieve our victory. One more thing that we all need to be aware and very careful about is that these people will be all around you. You can be that these people will be all around you, can be with you in any form, and you actually might end up finding that the person who was once your best trusted buddy ends up being the person who is on the other side, like how it happened to me with Dino Bhai. I'm sorry, I need to write about him here, as he was one big asset in our team, and he was always up to the right thing. But one thing he did today, I was actually confused. Should I be discussing anything any further with him? And why did he do it? I was totally in shock. But then, after all that I have seen and gone through, the one thing that I have learned is that the only person who will always stand with you, come what may, is one, you yourself. And second, if any pet you have like my fudge, no one else will actually stand with you till the end, because everyone has a breaking point, a point where they can be sold. And if we go in the words of these people who always say that everyone is here and is meant to be sold, the only difference is the right price tag that needs to be paid. So if we go by this theory and this baseline of the nexus, then everyone is out there to be sold. And the only person who cannot be sold and do injustice to you is you yourself. It becomes very important that you be very careful around this and do not trust anyone so much that if they turn their backs on you, you fall weak. Everything is important, but what is most important is self backup, and this has to be maintained come what may. Dino Murillo. All my failures, all the questions that I had in my mind is that despite doing everything to perfection, why is it that I am facing failure more often than not? Why is it that most of my plans leak out? Why is this happening? Why is that happening? So many more incidents to add. And the one answer to that is this man, who actually was the person who was playing both sides. How did I find out? That was a very interesting story. And I shall tell you here because I personally feel you should keep doing these background checks every once in a while so that you will be well aware of what is happening around you and what are the corrective measures you need to implement so that you always have the upper hand and can come out of this, because once you start your journey against them, this is bound to happen, and this without fail will happen. So what I did was I gave different information to different people around me and waited to see what will come back to me. And the information that came back to me from Mahesh Bhatt was my action plan, which I shared with Dino Bhai. Not that I feel this is too quick, I am judging him, but then what connected instantly was the actions that took place in the past and failed. With the help of some friends of Disha, we got to his call records. And there lied the real story. This man, Dino, had been in constant touch with everyone who was on our list and was giving out informations to them. I don't know what was the context of the calls, but when I matched those records with mine, the calls that he had made was always like just before I received a call or just after I have made a call. And this sequence was more common when he was not with me. When he was with me too, as a matter of shock for me, if I now go back and think, this man, if my calculations are not wrong, was making sure that his phone was on and on the speaker mode whenever he was around me. And every word I spoke to him had made its way out there. This here, I need to bow my head down and thank Mahadev, my guide, who always came to me in one form or the other whenever I needed him and was always there for me. Though my intention was something else, that intention itself came as a blessing in disguise for me. I wanted to make sure that my main backup, the person who would actually take me out of any issue that I am to face, should not be known to the rest of the team. And let me make one thing clear here. This was not the only man. I will explain it in detail a little later because that will need one whole slide for it. And I did not introduce him to anyone except Sandeep and Asif Bhai. But I will keep them in the loop now so that even they will be a little wary around this man. And we should carefully plan to distance ourselves from this person. The man who was shedding crocodile tears now is out in the open. And his intentions too. I need to now do some damage control. Not Not that much damage is done. That one habit of mine saved me big time today, where I always used to tell him that, brother, not this time. Or rather, it's not time now. I just don't know why I kept doing it. But when I got to know what this person in real is, I don't know whom to thank. But yes, whatever happened, there was no much drama, no much damage. And we all need to carefully ensure now that we part our ways with him, but in a way where he should not know that we are parting ways with him. This is very important, else they will come back with someone else. And from now on, the one thing I need to do is stop having new people in the team. I omitted some names here. Dash 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 are my real team, and I am very sure these are the only people I can bank on, because every passing day, one or the other in this world is showing his true color, and this is very, very sad and pathetic. That a person who wanted to expose the wrongs in the industry because they messed up with his career is this in reality. No doubt why Asif Bhai always used to say, Astin ka samp, Astin ka samp. Now I feel I should sometimes take some honest suggestions too. And I'm blessed to have a person like Asif Bhai in my team. Now, if I go back and replay why I was never so comfortable with Dino around, if I put it out in this way, I will not be wrong. If I say that though my conscious mind didn't take it seriously, those words from Asif Bhai got stored in my subconscious mind. And my subconscious mind unknowingly to me was sending those signals to my brain, so that I was always a little careful around this man. Dino, if science has to be applied here, I'm sorry, so that I was always careful around this man Dino. If science has to be applied here, but if I go by my belief, then it was my Jatadari Adi Yogi who was guiding me and making sure that I was not trapped into these people's web. With this said and done, now let me get back to explain what I had left in my earlier slide, where I said that this is not the only man. The thing is like this: when I had made an action plan to decide who all would be my backups, when I lost the track, the main people I blindly trusted on were Disha, Asif Bhai, Sandeep, and two others who are not big names. So even if I take them out here, you might end up confusing them for someone else. So let's keep it as this for now. So this was my main team, which always I used to share anything and everything that had to be planned. Then there was that other team who was given the task to sit back and watch, and that had dash dash in it. So I was quite sure of that team too. Minaji, I want to make some things clear here that the names which are mentioned and which seem to have helped Sushant, whom I feel that are still alive, might be still alive, I'm just omitting them. Okay, so I was quite sure of that team too. This was my arrangement, which actually saved me most of the times. And even today, when this shock hit me like a thunder strike and gave me a quick reality check, the first thing that struck my mind was, thank God, I have backups in place. Because this man's face coming out means they are right in my close circle, are deep inside now. This can actually make me lose trust on everyone. But that should not be the case here. Because the people who are with me from the beginning have always stood by me and will continue to stand. This taught me a lesson that I can keep adding people into this mission, but I should not trust most of them. It should be like I should now learn to actually make that judgment, whose company I enjoy to spend time with and whom I can trust. I will ask the rest of them to follow the same too, because at this point, this is what we all should practice and implement. It can never be that someone whose company you enjoy can be trustworthy, and this we need to quickly learn. The main task and the first thing that I will have to do starting immediately is turn my clock backwards and start from the time I got in touch with this Dino. Sit back and see what all info he has given me and what all info I have shared with him. Make notes of everything and then come back to the present and see what exactly is the stand and how do we need to proceed further. One thing for sure is that no real damage is done. But I don't know why, if I do not do this reality check now, when I come out with my exposures, if somewhere I'm going to fall flat on my face, then it will be because of this person, Dino. It's better safe than to be sorry. A stitch in time saves nine. So the first thing I will do almost instantly now is work on this and then come to a conclusion as to what has to be done. This audit is very, very important because without this, if I proceed, I might put the entire mission under risk to the person who is reading this. The only humble request I have to make is that do not repeat the mistakes I have made. Keep checking on yourself and the people around you. And always be sure of whom you are talking, what you are talking, and why you are talking when you interact with people. The only thing you need to make sure is that you have an open mind. You only listen and not react. Just make notes and just nod. And once you're out of the place and have a detached mind, only then decide what you want to do and how it has to be done. The biggest mistake one does is when he feels that he knows everything. Till you reach the end of it and get the job done, you know nothing. And once you have achieved your goal, you are still learning. This is what your path and action plans should be all about. It is very easy for everyone to make sure that the least expected level of getting a job done is to understand that things are not as easy as they look to be. And in order to do this, you need to fight a lot of battles, some within yourself, some against the world. And the only way you can come out of it is never make a decision when you are in two minds. Because if you actually decide when you are in two minds, you will end up messing everything altogether. And this in itself is the biggest mistake we do. I know I am writing a lot about it almost in every instance. Whatever I want to speak out, the fact is that I have to make sure I share everything that has happened and what I have gone through, because this is how your journey too will be. And you need to be better prepared to face all the consequences that come as a package along with it. This is a total summary of the names that I have encountered so far. And I will ensure that I will go ahead in the journey. Now let's get into the other aspect of it and talk about the queens. I had made a mention of the queens, and these are few queens whom I have shortlisted after making sure I have done some research around it. Kapil Sharma. From a nobody to the Kapil Sharma show, this man's journey looks like a typical rags to riches kind of a story. But that is not true. This man is one of the mainstays when it comes to the drug business. And if you closely follow his pattern and the way he works on the garb of this show, a lot of meeting around where to collect and how much to collect is decided. And it's from here the entire thing is done. Not just this, some other shows too play a major role, but this show in particular, because three of the main kingpins who are deeply involved in drugs or some other kind of funny and confusing activities form a light part of the panel. And today, when I am writing this, I myself am not sure how true my calculations will be. But I am sure the future will open up the Pandora box. But I am sure the future will open up the Pandora box, and all these people will be exposed in one way or the other. And three people who the needle of suspicion swings is Kapil Sharma, Bharati, and Navjot Singh Sidhu. I'm quite sure of the trio. Navjot Singh Sidhu not in the drugs angle, but the other angle where he is believed to be the political clown. The person who has made a mess of himself right from the days of his cricketing career to his current career. He is one person who initially spat venom on Congress, only to join them later. Just a second. Yeah. Only to join them later. And everyone knows. One second, I will read this sentence again. Yeah. Navjot Singh Sidhu, not in the drugs angle, but the other angle where he is believed to be the political clown. The person who has made a mess of himself right from the race of his cricketing career to his current career. He is one person who initially spat venom on Congress, only to join them later. And everyone knows how quickly this man can change his statements in order to make sure that this under-table deals that were happening on the name of the show, the games were this. Beautifully, the Punjab flirts and every other thing which Kapil was linked with is a deep, deep controversy in itself. And I shall get back to it in detail once Disha is done with that, with what she is doing. Now the only thing that is running in my mind is that how do we conclude on what has to be done here, because there is some dirty secrets hidden here. And most of the times when I try and get to the roots of this drug angle, one name that comes out in the open is Bharati Singh. Is this woman framed into it or she is involved? I have to wait out. But the prima facie, what looks to the naked eye says she has a deep, deep involvement in it. And this is what is clear and evident. Arjun Rampal and Meher Jesya, the king of drugs. I would not be wrong if I term him this right from his pubs in Delhi to his daily activities. I have made a mention of it in the past. But now it's confirmed. These are social drug addicts and dealers. The reason for the divorce too is right around one settlement, which the missus wanted it to be something else, but the Mr. settled for something else. Doubt me, you always can, but just do a small background check on the girl. The Mr. is currently dating. Doubt me, you always can, but just do a small background check on the girl the Mr. is currently dating. You will have the entire picture in front of you in black and white. Probably this is one pair whom we can call the silent assassins. They do not hog on to much of a limelight, but prefer to work in silence. If you want to know the reality of his pubs, and the nightlife or the sunset life that happens there, ask the low-level staff there. They stand witness for a lot of things, and it's up to you and your skill how and what you do to make them open up in front of you. They will not kick their stomachs to answer you, but if the right questions are put in the right way, with some incentive, of course, you will find a lot of answers where you can study and get to understand how this man has been doing his business and how he has managed to be in the loop from the time he started. If insiders are to be believed, and some of my own personal, just a second, I lost it. Yeah, if insiders are to be believed in some of my own personal experiences, this man has earned use through these pubs of his and is continuing to mint and is closely connected to some big names. So he has managed to stay at large till now. This is the irony. There are evidences and proof, but the connections these people have, there is no answer for it. How some of these people sell themselves for just handful of money. This is the biggest irony and sorry state of affairs too. Now this Arjun Rampal is that kind of a queen who can be called in common terms as the stockist. He is the stock point from where the collections are made, and his pubs are the prime spots where all these deals happen. My team is on it to try and study the modus. Once that is done, I will make sure I will mention about it in detail too. And then we shall prepare a strong file on this man too. I have nothing against him and had admired him for some time in my initial days too. But now, when I look back, I might have to sing the same song again. But I have to make it up again. That I feel everyone was cheated of their emotions and whatnot. These kind of people are a shame on the society, and this has to stop. The only reason Arjun is able to roam around freely is because he is closely connected to some big names in Delhi. And my team is on it to find out who the people are. And as I said, for now, this is still in the primary stages, wherein we will have to wait out for the end result. And I'm sure I will get to the end result soon, because these people are the ones who are actually spreading shit in the society. Should I continue, Meenaji? There's a lot.
Yes,
Ashish Chaudhary. Yeah. Ashish Chaudhary. Small name, but big contact list. This man, I'm not sure here again, but one person who was with him says he is the victim of a fraud. But some others say if he was a victim of a fraud, how could he continue to lead the same lavish lifestyle which he always did? Now, when I sit back and think and try and do my own study on it, it is very, very clear that this man was in some way or the other equally a culprit, and as it always is, the best way out was chosen by filing a case in the court. I would be too early to speak around this for now, but this person too has a huge hand in the drugs racket and has been around the corner when controversies made their way out. I sometimes feel I might be wrong in his case, but most of the indicators and the indications that I have got have a different story to tell. However, my team member is on the task and I need to wait for him to finish so that I can actually make sure I will get the job done a little sooner. But yes, unless we have those things which can speak, we cannot do nothing, because the society today has been such where in it's the truth that has to answer the questions and the lies have a free flow everywhere. This is the harsh reality and we have to somehow set things back on track. Ranveer Singh, one name who was very small in the beginning but quickly grew up the ranks and now has made his name for himself, is one of the most hated person. I'm sorry, I'll read it again, Meenaji. Ranveer Singh, one name who was very small in the beginning but quickly grew up the ranks and now has made a name for himself, is one of the most hunted person when it comes to the drugs angle of it. I'm not sure here how the connection has been established, but one thing for sure is that a lot of happenings around Tamil Nadu and Bangalore, this man is in total control of it, and this needs to be investigated thoroughly. Before I conclude on it, as always, the girl from down there is on the task. and I shall soon conclude on how the network is established. But one thing is for sure here, that the women power, Deepika, Rakul Preet, and some others whom I am still not been able to establish connection with, play a major role here. And one thing that is quite clear is that Ria too is a close associate in this group. And this is how they function. Some names are in the list for the same. Some names are in the list for the same, but for now there is nothing against them which can be proved conclusive, which can be proved as conclusive evidence. So we have to wait out for Disha to get the things that are needed and then conclude on to what we have to do as our next course of action. This is indeed a very, very interesting angle, because this is where connection to Bollywood and sports can be made to. And this in itself, once I get to the roots of it, I will also make a detailed report on why Lalit Modi escaped and how a huge issue, which was a huge cancer on the nation, was covered, and covered in such a way that nothing ever happened. It started with the Harbhajan Singh slapgate, and the issue was buried down very, very quickly. And the thing around this issue is so deep that unless I am more than 100% sure that I have the right set of information, it would be foolish on my side to open up on it. But one thing is for sure, Shah Rukh Khan, Preeti Zinta, Shilpa Shetty, and Juhi Chawla, there is something huge here. And the only way the thing can be out in the public is once we have reached the roots of it. And if my calculations are not wrong, now after getting to learn some more things around it, the only question now that is making out in my mind is that, was the match fixing scandal just an eyewash? Anyways, I got to wait out for Disha to get back on this so that I get to know the whole story. The truth is that the relationship Deepika had with Sid Malia is the key from where all this started, and most of them are closely connected around this. I am just short of evidences here to expose this angle, but have complete trust on the team working on this, and the exposes will happen as soon as I get to the root of it. And this news for sure will hit hard, because if I have to believe some people who actually spoke out, top politicians too are involved, and the names will soon follow. I am so much in confusion that how these people and the same set of them are there everywhere, and the biggest shame is that these people actually don't have a spine and are highly insecure and still are ruling over us common man. Wake up. These people are not strong. It's your fear that is making them strong. These people are so insecure that even if 1% of their images comes on the radar, they will spend money like the water flowing in the river to save it. So this is your biggest test. Do those notes, stitch your mouths like it has done in the past for so many people who stood up, but then had their own agenda around it, or you will fight it out. Do not get confused here. I am spilling any dirt on the real noble souls who had laid down their lives on the path of truth. But there are some names who have acted to be activists and now are silent when their due was received. There are these people too who had their own agenda and have done under the table deals. Some names in my eyes, but I will open up once I get ready for it. The chapter on these exposes comes to an end over here for now, because I need to add in a lot of time to get to some details before I continue to get to those informations which I should before I open up, because indicators and truth can be two different things. And for me, before I begin this, I need to ensure that I am more than double sure that I have not missed any angle, because once I start, there would be no looking back. And one small mistake I do is enough for my downfall. Errors happen, but the biggest curse on anyone is that if you do 999.99% things right, the people remember and hold on to that 0.001% thing where you lost the track. And this would not happen in this case, because once I start, there will be criticism from every angle, from every place. And this is what I know for sure. And if I make one mistake, that mistake would be more than enough for the rest, whole of my hard work to go down the drain. to go down the drain and me ending up on the losing side. This should not happen, because if this happens, then it will be the biggest slap on the face of humanity. The work I have started should not stop. And these names that are now known to me should be known to the entire world, because it's only when these matters come out in front of the whole world humanity can survive. Else, these people will get their way out using their brain and then trying to bury down the issues using the power of media in their hands. This is one huge curse these people have left on humanity. And we all should ensure that we leave no stone untouched to get this done. We have to get it done, and I will make sure these steps are taken. Meenaji,
Yeah.
do we have time, or shall I stop here? Because
If you
from
want, you
here
can continue. Yeah, it's up to you. Like if you're tired, it's entirely up to you.
let me see what. No, here he has mentioned like it's a very beautiful thing. If only, yes, what plans he has for the country. I mean, how it should, how, if you're up to it, it will take another 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, please continue.
Are you sure? Okay. And I will make sure these steps are taken. Number one, I will set up my own information center where I will be myself handling most of the things. And also will ensure that I will make all arrangements here for the information to be stored and the plans to be executed to be stored. Number two, create an interface and give it to everyone. They will have update their day-to-day work on this interface, and I will sit and centrally track the progress. Number three, have some people as backup and keep a watch on the movements of the people who are on the field. This is not because I doubt them, but this is because they too need to be safe. And this team will only be the backup protection and shall make sure no lives are lost. Number four, assign and supervise the content, how it should come out, and what are the things which will come out on a daily basis. This team will be under dash and dash. Number five, make arrangements for technical training to be given to each of my team members and make them well versed with everything with regards to technology. And not just this, I will also make sure that these people are taught self-defense techniques too and overall fitness programs too. The team that is going to work on the ground need to be like daredevils. No one should be able to even put a scratch on their body. I will ensure that this will be taken care of. And everyone who is a part of my team shall have this to be done as a routine so that they stay fit, because fitness plays a major role in everyone in development of a person, because fitness plays a major role in development of a person, and this has to be taken quite seriously. Number six, start my projects one by one, and once I have started my projects, I will also work on developing various free apps which will be readily available on Play Store and App Store, and anyone can download these apps. I will try and do my bit in creating job opportunities and make sure that the companies that these people work with, they have both job satisfaction and happiness in their mind. Because for me, money doesn't count if it cannot make someone happy. Number seven, try and set up training centers for youngsters where they will be trained on various vices that are in the society. And also they will be given the right education on what are the do's and don'ts. They need to follow to ensure that their future is safe and they get the right knowledge. Bookish knowledge is very much necessary, but practical implementation of this knowledge is what has to be done. Because most of the times what happens is that what we have learned in school remains there in the school only. And we sometimes fail to apply that when any such situation comes. For this, the answer is skill shops, where these things will be taught to these tender minds, and the importance of implementation shall be brought into practice and also portrayed in these skill shops. Number eight, I would call it my telescope center. I will have one place where I can sit in peace, see the stars, study them, and also try and explore new things that the universe has in it. And then I would also want to share this knowledge too. If someone would be interested to pursue this as an hobby, I will mentor them, and we all will watch stars together. This will be the much needed stress buster for everyone. Number 9, pet zone. I will have a pet zone here too, wherein when the stress is too much and it takes a toll on the mission, we all will play with these pets. And this, according to me, is the best way to get out stress and get back on track and start working with the newfound zeal again. Number 10, helplines for women. I'm not thinking of a trust or anything, but will for sure form an organization of individuals who will be on the task round the clock. These people will ensure to be there when someone needs them. I want to create something like a 911 of the USA, and this will be under my supervision, especially for women. We will not take law into our hands, but if someone needs help, we will ensure that we are always there to help. And this help will come without any expectation or wanting anything in return for what we are doing. I have it in I have it with me, so I need to share a part of it with the society. This is the basic every human should follow. If you are having it a part of it, a small part of it, you should keep it aside for those who do not. And when you do this work, you should do it in such a way that your left hand does not know what the right hand is doing. It is too bad to actually do publicity about charity. You want to do charity or help people? Fine, do it for your satisfaction. Why let the world know about it? No one spreads hands because they want to do it. It's the situation that forces them to. For a moment. Have you ever thought that what would that person who is receiving the help undergo when he gets to know and knows it for a fact that his pain is being filmed and shot to gain publicity? There are so many other ways I don't encourage doing publicity about charity. At least I will avoid it as much as possible, because the best way to do charity is to do it and forget what you have done. Number 11, self-help centers. If someone wants to help himself by learning something, any craft, any special skill, and live his life around it, this self-help center will do exactly that. If you give someone food, you feed him for a day. But if you teach someone how to get his own food, you will feed him for a lifetime. My only agenda behind this will be to make people realize that a 9 to 7 job is not the only source of income you can have. If you want to work and if you have it in you, there are so many other ways where you can make good sum of money without actually doing anything wrong. Candle making, basket weaving, and other such things will be taught here, and people from the slums will be my target here. If these slum dwellers are shown the right path, even they can be changed. I would not say all of them are into crime, but most of them are. And the only way to stop this is to keep them busy with something and show them that to earn, you just need to learn, unlearn, and relearn quickly. And if you practice this, you don't need crime to feed yourself. And I will make sure this happens. This is not just my dream, but this is the dream of my entire team, to make people realize that there are good ways to earn, and you don't necessarily need to take to the world of crime to make quick money. Number 12, awareness about government schemes. I have not decided the team that will work on this, but one thing for sure is that the government has come up with some wonderful schemes, but these are underutilized because the general public is not aware of what is the scheme and how do they become eligible to take the benefits of this scheme. Here, the prime focus is to make the society aware of all these schemes. And once this is done, we shall always make sure that we will keep in touch with the organizations and government institutions to be up to date and pass on the same to the people. Number 13, de-addiction and anti-drug education. I will look into this personally, and the team that will work here will make sure that we will do small videos on how bad drugs are to this society and how huge a curse it is to mankind. We will closely work with the respective organizations set up by the government and some private ones too, to try and make sure that this drug named menace is uprooted from its roots and is thrown far away from the society. This indeed is a tough task, but is not an impossible one. All it needs is some time and effort around it. And all I have now is time to give. I'll make sure that youngsters who spoil their lives and their beautiful futures, falling prey to drugs, are brought out from the clutches of drugs and are shown how beautiful life is and how they are spoiling it. Number 14, yoga centers. This will take time and is not the priority, but I shall for sure set up yoga centers all around the country and make it a point to ensure that the common man knows how beneficial yoga and meditation is. I am in touch with some centers. I will try and make it a point to see to it that these centers give the best yoga education and also make people practice and promote yoga. Number 15, organic farming centers. This is one thing now that I want to do, but I'm not sure how to start and from where to start. The biggest curse is this chemically prepared food products that give rise to a dozen of diseases. I just want to make sure that we go back to the basics and get back to the nature and do organic farming, eat healthy food and stay healthy and fit and stay healthy and fit. Hospitals are not meant for treatment these days. Treatments do happen, but what happens more than treatment is the business of fear, the business of death. One major break that can be applied here and which can minimize the hospital visit is healthy diet. And we will have to do something around that too. And this will be one thing I will want to do because, as I have told earlier, the diet we consume and the products we get from the market are too much of chemical. And that has been one of the major reasons why so many issues come to people at such a young age. And people are getting old sooner. And people are getting old sooner than the due age. Old here doesn't mean graying of hair. If you compare a person in his 60s in 1900 and a person in his 60s in 2020, here it is written in 2021, Minaji, and a person in his 60s in 2021, he has written here. Okay, so here people are asking question, why did he write 2021 when he, I don't know why he mentioned 2021, but I am guessing that this might be a quote to something, some other slide in the future. Okay.
Yeah.
Because if I am not wrong, it was on 15th August 2021 that he wanted to make that series of exposures, start that series of exposures. So I'm not sure here. And a person in his 60s in 2021, you will find that the person in his 60s in 1900 was much more healthier and much more fitter. Number 16, free coaching centers. This is there in most of the places, but the ones I will set up will provide free coaching for IAS, IPS, and public service exams too. Because the one way wherein we can do something to clean up this system that is in place now is to make sure that we set up such centers in abundance and make sure that the people, those who want to make it big but cannot afford it, don't have to sit back because they couldn't afford it. I will make sure that this effort of mine will be used in the right way and through scrutiny will be done on the candidates we pick for this. Number 17, elderly helplines. This is another concept which is very close to my heart. Most of the society today, what is a trend is that the elders at home have become discards. I'm not talking about all, but in most of the cases, this is the reality. We will ensure that we will have a helpline exclusively for the elders. And as and how we progress, we will have centers too, wherein we will take good care of them and ensure that the last days of their life, they live with a smile on their face, rather than worrying what is in store for them tomorrow. Some laws now have come wherein if children misbehave with their parents, they can be taken to task. If need be, we'll also make sure this message too is passed out to the elders to make them know that it's because of them we are what we are. And the least we can do for them, because I'm sure no one on the face of this globe can ever repay the good they have done to us. So the least we can do for them is make sure we let them have their peace of mind and enjoy the last days of their life. It is a huge shame to give them pain during their last days. when all their life they only lived for you. And even today, if you feel a small pinch too, more than you, those eyes will cry. But some people whom status and money mean above relationships, nothing much can be done about them. But I will make sure I will do this just because I don't want the people who did so much for everyone suffer when all they want is some love and affection. Number 18, legal cell. The biggest curse for the common man today is no proper legal advice. No doubt, there are some great lawyers out there, but also along with these come some others who actually misguide. So to put a full stop to this, and also for the people who have their cases pending because of no proper legal advice, this cell is for them. I will make sure I will pick some good lawyers for this and do this with only one intention, that when our constitution says that justice is everyone's right, let everyone have a fair chance to have it. No doubt our courts and systems are a little slow, but the speed can be better if we all put a conscious effort around it and ensure that we have our priorities right. And the system, yes, it is slow, but till we make sure we take steps, there is no point we can actually make it happen. We have to work constructively towards it and make sure that all that we need to do, and make sure that all that we do, we should have one agenda and one dream: cleaning the society, having a clean society, making sure that we hold the people whom we have got to power accountable for their actions and respect them only if they deliver. If not 100%, at least 20%. For now, that itself is a huge figure in the current time. I will stop it here, Minaji. I mean, he had. I wanted to read this out because I was so impressed by his vision.
His good deeds.
Yeah, and he has actually written it in points. He had concern for the elderly.
Such a brilliant
he had
soul,
concern for the women.
very kind soul, who thought about the elderly, thought about animals, everything.
I mean, as I'm reading his visions and thoughts for the. I mean, the more I'm beginning to feel the loss. I mean, what a big loss he has been for this humanity. Only if only. I mean, I too wish that some people are spreading this theory that he is alive.
Yeah.
I too wish that he is alive, but unfortunately, that's not the case. Unfortunately, we have lost him. Unfortunately, there has been a big loss
A
to
complete
humanity.
sacrifice that he has made for society.
And we as public, he has made this sacrifice for us. And he has already left to a better place.
Yeah.
So justice for Sushant is justice for us, our generations, our future.
Yeah.
So please, I request all people to use their own common sense and not get confused by so many narratives. Just do not get misled by titles or big names, because big names are being exposed now. So use your intellect and try to analyze the motive that any narrative is achieving, and you will know the answer for yourselves. That's my only sincere advice to people.
Yeah. And also, important thing is that, see, don't waste your time on analyzing, watching people analyzing the diary. You watch on, pushing the justice for Sushant agenda, because that is the only thing that's important. Nothing else.
Exactly.
Let the people
I'm not
saying them talk.
Yeah, I'm not saying you blindly believe that whatever Deepti is saying is true. Yeah. Okay, there can be doubt, but by making videos, sharing them, you're not going to achieve anything. The only thing we can do is that use your standing in the society, set up a meeting with CBI, let them validate, let them declare it fake, or let them acknowledge. And then only the justice movement can move forward.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for giving us more time than your usual allotted time. And thank you from the viewers as well. Thank you, Deepti, a lot. And
Minaji, I will come. Yeah, I will come again after some time, because I'm trying to work on the proof of drive which has the proofs, and it is as I told, it is more heavily encrypted, so it is taking time to decode. I will come back when I'm ready. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, and good night.
Thank you, Minaji. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.